and welcome to the Playground Chat with Mishi Lalwangu. Today we are joined by Waithera Kibinda from Muranga County. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Sheila. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's a privilege to be on your show. I'm excited to see wonderful and beautiful minds doing, incredible things.
Pleasure's ours.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and the position you're vying for.
Well, like you said, my name is Beth Waithera Kibinda, and soon to add maybe Gitau. So I actually have two of my father's names, Mburu Kibinda, and then my husband's name, Gitau. So it's a mouthful. My day job, my day job is my family, my husband, my two children, and just my family of birth and choice. And my other hustle is I'm a transformative life coach. I'm also a postpartum supporter. I work with first-time moms after they have delivered their children. I'm also very passionate about governance and leadership, so I'm in spaces like those. And I'm putting on a new hat in this year, a political hat, and I'm vying for woman representative in Muranga County this year, 2022.
Wow, that was very good. Yeah, how was your childhood? And if given a chance, what would you change?
I had a beautiful childhood. And I feel the pressure to give the same to my children. I played, I got good education, I had friends. I had a good childhood. My parents were very involved in raising us up. I have 3 siblings, that makes us 4 children. I learned how to ride a bike from my father. I learned how to drive from my parents as well. So actually my first car was a Bedford. I learned how to drive. It's called a Bedford. They no longer are in existence. Yes, a big lorry, so I can drive a truck as well. My parents instilled leadership, instilled good morals, and I'm grateful for that. So there's nothing I would change in my childhood. It was a beautiful childhood.
Like, for example, like you had a good childhood. There are girls who are not having that good childhood. Maybe they are going through so many troubles, so many challenges, like they lack sanitary towels, they lack mentorship, and even though the mentors are coming, they're not getting anything. They're just, okay, we are talking to you, so change, do this, do this.
Yes.
You can't tell someone, dress well and eat well, and that person doesn't have clothes and food.
Yes.
So what can you change about that?
It's true, and bringing it closer home. You had just been mentioned as we were having this conversation that in 2021, June 2021, it was recorded that 365 teen girls aged between 10 and 19 were giving birth, teenagers, 365 in a month. Now that is alarming. There was a report that came out yesterday. I don't know, we'll put the dates as we go on, that girls are actually having, school-going girls are actually having sex with their parents, with their fathers, so that their school fees can be paid. I know that is documented and people know about it. So I'll speak to you like this because I know you're a big girl and you understand, but that is not right. These things are happening because, one, parents are not involved with their children. You can never ever delegate parenting. Whether you are a mother 10 years old or 19 years old, you remain a parent, and you can never delegate parenting. But when we delegate parenting, as a parent, when we delegate parenting to house helps, we delegate parenting to teachers in school, and some it's because of unfortunate circumstances, we lose a generation. And that's where you're finding, as leaders or politicians, we're not providing the basic needs that you should be having, Sanitary towels should be free in this country, because menstrual health is not a choice. You don't wake up one day and say, I want to be born a girl and I want to go through my periods. No, it's something in your body that has to happen, okay? There are things that we choose. People choose to have sex to have children. They can decide we want to have contraceptives or not, you get? But menstrual health, we should not be having to buy sanitary towels. I look forward to a Kenya where when you get to school, you have readily available sanitary towels, and it's quality sanitary towels, not things that will cause cancer in the future or as you go on. Yes, and we provide that. I've been in places I have been able to contribute to sanitary towels, but it's not a sustainable practice, because every month you're sure you're going to go through this natural body thing. So we need policies, we need leaders who will put their hands down and say, these things that are out of our control and need to be accessible and free.
Okay, talking about that, what motivated you to vie for that woman representative? What motivated you mostly?
I feel, so I turned 40 last year, and there's something that happens when you turn 40. But like I said, I've been in a leadership journey for a very long time. And I remember, so last year, my father went to heaven. It was a very traumatic season for me, and still is, because I'm grieving and I miss him. He was a wonderful, wonderful man. And I remember when we were laying him to rest, I became so angry. I was angry. I looked around and I'm like, I've known these people being poor. Their children are poor. Their grandchildren are poor. Something has to change. And in grief, something else was birthed. And I know Muranga is so huge. Muranga is expansive. And it's just my little contribution to the role of women, to the role of girls, vulnerable communities, to the boy child who has also been neglected for a very long time in Muranga. It's for everybody. I want to do my little in a big way. Wangari Maathai said, yeah, let's do each. But her little thing was planting trees. That's why here where we are, we can sit under a shade and enjoy. So what is my little thing right now is running for office and pushing for proper policies that safeguard vulnerable populations.
Oh, there's been a lot of child neglect in Muranga County.
Yeah.
So, like, how are you going to address this if you gain that position you're vying for? If you gain it, because I'm not saying this only because it is happening in Nairobi, because for example, in Muranga County, there are girls who don't have like poverty. Poverty is everywhere.
Yes.
So you'll find that those girls are the one looking for money. Maybe selling themselves, a teen, 14 years, 10 years, selling herself so that she can get that amount of money, maybe to buy sanitary towels, to do that. So, like, if you, like, what will you change? What will you change in there?
First, we need a whole mindset shift, okay? Because I can provide all these things. For instance, I can provide sanitary towels. I can provide proper healthcare. I can provide all these things. On a good random day, everything was okay. But unless we change our minds to value yourself, your value cannot be equated to a boda ride, and that's how girls get pregnant. Your value cannot be educated to school fees. Your value cannot be equated to a new phone, a new smartphone. You are more valuable than all those things put together, So you have to sit and say, I as Okwango, that is your name, right? Alwango. This is how I see myself. This is how I value myself. This is the contribution I'm going to give to the world, even from my little space, from this Mtoto News, from this, you see? So when we have a shift of that, then these other things will fall to place. So for instance, we talk a lot about girls empowerment, women empowerment. That is where that comes in. To say it's true, we agree, there are no sanitary towels. But what's the value do you place on yourself as a woman? The day we start seeing ourselves as more meaningful, as more important, then other things will fall into place. So I look forward to a lot of empowerment for girls, their mothers, their dads. Do you know there was a season where we did not have nursery schools in Muranga?
What?
Yeah. The population of young kids going to school had drastically reduced because men are living in hopelessness. There are no families. Men are being jailed either because they are in bad groups like Mungiki or other groups. There's no space for that. So yeah, but now we are changing. We can see life is coming. Life is coming.
Talking about women empowerment and girls empowerment, there are people who empower girls in Muranga, right?
Yes.
But still them empowering the girls, there's still teenage pregnancy there.
Yes,
What do you think is not being done to those children?
Children are not being allowed to be children.
Talking of children are not allowed to be children.
We are, because of, like you said, the poverty cycle. As a young girl, maybe a 10-year-old, I go to school, I come home, I fetch water, and this time water is very far. We don't have, our water resources have greatly reduced. You come, you cook, especially there are some homesteads that are child-led homesteads because either the mother died, therefore as a girl, naturally you're the one leading the home. You get, and because you want to get out of this quickly, or even your family wants you to get out of this quickly, they want to marry you off quickly, so to go and become someone else's burden. Yeah, someone else's responsibility. Like I told you before, as a 10-year-old, a 19-year-old, you have no business thinking about sex. You are a child. You should go out and do what children do. You should go out and play. You know, discover who you are, stretch your limits, break bones as you're as you're playing. Open up your mind. You know, research has been done and it shows our brains actually are like almost fully developed at age 25. Okay, so you see, you have a long way to go. I'm not saying don't have boyfriends, don't have girlfriends, but those are not to be conversations, relationships that you're stuck on. You know, go out, expand, wake up one day and say, today I'm going to visit Muranga. I welcome you. Come visit Muranga. See how other girls are living. You know, expand your worldview. In another while, I'll tell you, hey, come, let us go to Canada. Let us see how other girls are living. Yes. So we should not just be wishy and all those other things. The world is big. It's awaiting for people like you, awaiting for people like me to make a change.
Yeah, thank you very much. And what do you think, like, how are you going to make sure that children enjoy their rights?
Again, start where we are. Push for, we have especially as Kenyans, we have very nice things written on paper. Quality education is key. It's not just, okay, so it's free, then what? But it has to be quality, efficient, up-to-date education that we are offering our children. And that's very easy to push because by doing monitoring and evaluation of our schools, even before we start thinking about healthcare, I want to start thinking about the food that's on your plate. Is your tomato GMO? How much fertilizer has been put to grow your tomato? Because it's fine, I will say, yes, we have a highly functioning hospital, but if we have more people visiting the hospital, there is a problem. So let's begin by your diet. The food that we are growing, is it quality food to serve children? Or are we doing, is it kukuza madawa all the time we are pumping so that we say, yes, we are actually giving Muranga children white meat and quality eggs? No, we push for organic foods as much as we can for our children, for the food at the table. That will reduce our visits or even our conversations about healthcare.
Yeah, like, what is the burning issue in Muranga and what are you going to improve? Like, what are the measures you're going to take to improve those burning issues that are disturbing Muranga?
For me, I think the greatest issue we have is equality and equity. That is it. Because everyone, and it's clear, most people from Muranga run away from the poverty in Muranga in such a great way. Rarely will people come back and invest in their old schools or, with their neighbors, and those are some of the things that are motivating me to come back and say, you professionals from Muranga, please come and invest back back home. Okay, so I want to offer chances for both boys and girls, first to be children, first to play, not to think about sex, not to think about drugs. Same platform, because then when I pay school fees for my children, I'm not given a special rate for a girl child and a different rate for yeah, it's the same. So if school fees is the same, if when we go to hospital we are paying the same amount of money, therefore even other things should be on the same platform. I'm dreaming of a Muranga where all our resources are equal. What we have water, we have electricity, we have decent housing, not some for girls and others for boys. The quality of education given to girls and the infrastructure in girls' school is the same for boys' school. So I'm starting from my little space, the budget that the government gives us for the Women Representative Office, working with partners, the MCAs, the MPs, the governors, and deciding this is how we are going to improve the lives of children, of people, of mothers, of men, of disabled people.
Okay, so how will you make sure that children are safe during and after elections?
Wow. I think speaking as a mother is to preach peace. It's such an oxymoron when we say we fight for peace because peace should not be fought for. It's everyone's right. Is to ensure the conversations I'm having with my children are not tribal conversations, or even in the room, when we speak with other adults, because then we don't want to plant seeds of tribalism with our children. Is to ensure that my team is peaceful. The people who are helping me campaign, that they are peaceful. That they're not going out to fight my opponents. You get? And the same as well. So it becomes a snowballing effect.
So what will you tell those parents who are always afraid during election? They'll say, hey, me, I don't want my child to stay here. Me, I'll take my child to another place so that he or she will be safe from this election. Like in Kenya, we always, when we think of election, think of fights, chaos, deaths, all those things. So how are you making sure, like, are you promising that parent is always afraid that during election I'll go to a country, during election I'll have to move out of the country as a good citizen, as all those? How are you going to promise them it's going to be safe, and you're going to campaign with the peace? You're going to make sure that it's safe for children, safe for adults and everyone.
I think we begin those conversations from a small space. Remember saying we are majoring on the minor
things.
Nyumba kumi is working. Senior.
Yes.
So if you're in a cosmopolitan place, is to say, here we have Luos, we have Kyuks, we have Kisis, we have Kaleos. As these people here, we have agreed we're going to be peaceful. Yes, and peacemakers. So that when I am going to vote, let's say at Olympic primary, as our Nyumba Kumi has decided we are going to be peaceful, okay? I'll not be the first one who throw a stone to my neighbor who is either Luo or Kalenjin, and they have made the same promise to me. When politicians, or I'll say politicians, when they say there's a united front, they'll actually align themselves to your agenda. But when they see a divided community, they get to use that division for their own advantage. Yes, for their own benefit. I want to say, because I have been on this side, I've been the place where I've been a citizen and a leader. If we all come back together, if we come together, for instance, in this place, let's say we are 10,000 of us,
yes,
and there's one person here speaking who has power, the 10,000 or the one person.
Okay, the 10,000 people
exactly, yes, they have power. So we align our agenda so that this person can come and fit into our agenda. So if they're not fitting into it, we tell them goodbye and we move on to someone else. The people have the power, and you have the power. Starting with this Mtoto News, you have the power. Yes, in your classroom, at this time you're going to start saying, okay, Wakisi wote tuketi ile side, Wajaluo Wakikuyu tuketi side. No, it's taking the joy in learning. These are the cultures of a Kikuyu. These are the cultures of a Luo. Our differences are beautiful. We celebrate those. And while we are at it, I see you as my brother and you see me as your sister. Yeah. How will we tell children who are married from, maybe their parent is Luo, a dad is Luo, and their mom is Kikuyu. Where are we taking them? What tribe are they? You see, then you are confused. We cannot put people in that situation, and we should not be driven by fear. We should not be driven by fear. I have taken my children to cast a vote. You know, they have seen me voting, you know. So, and I'm brave enough. I'm like, liwe liwalo, tuendelee.
Okay, so what is your top manifesto for children?
Children to be children. Children have to be children. Again, like I said, your quality of education, the food on your plate, your safety as you go to school, access to playing time, because Nairobi children don't have, upcountry children don't have this time. You see, you and I have, they don't have. They are now going to either hustle. I've seen girls your age riding boda so they can earn extra income for their families. It's allowing children to be children, you know. Yes, empowering their parents as well, offering opportunities to their parents as well to have extra money for their families, so that they allow children to be children.
For me, if my mom was in Muranga County,
yes,
definitely she
would vote for me. Yes, because again, no one comes out of life alive. So we need a bit of humor, a bit of taking care, and I'm glad, I'm grateful you called me here and your whole team up to Toto. I've had fun, and I hope I can share this video with Muranga girls to know their life is bigger than just sex, lollipops, smartphones, and a boda ride.
Thank you. That was Waithera Kibinda from Muranga County. This is Playground Chat. See you next time.